Hello and welcome back. We are learning AWS IAM. And today in this video we are going to talk about core component of AWS IAM known as IAM entities. In AWS we have mainly three identities. One, user, second, group, and the third one is role. In this video we are going to talk about what is identity, and we will talk about first identity, user. So let's start this. First of all, I'm going to explain you about introduction of entity. IAM entities are the core of access control in AWS. As you know that we are using service called IAM to provide access of AWS resources or AWS services. Now when we are going to provide access, we have to define to whom we are giving access. So we need to create identities first, and then by attaching policy with this user or this identity, we can give access control to this identity. In AWS, we have mainly three identities: user, group, and role. We are going to discuss about all of these three, but let's start with the first identity known as IAM user. If you go to AWS console, right now I am logged in as a root user. I am right now king of this particular account that I can say I have full access of all the resources, because in AWS, root is a main user who created this AWS account, and this user have unrestricted permission. But in my company, I have lots of resources. I am using almost 100 plus AWS services. So is it possible for me to manage whole my AWS environment alone? No, it is not. Now in this case, I am going to hire some of manpower who is going to manage my AWS services, and I want to provide them access to the particular services based on their expertise. So let's say that I'm going to hire one person, let's say that user 1. Now this particular user is going to manage my AWS EC2 dashboard. User 1 is in front of me, but my problem is how I can give access to this particular user 1 to my AWS console. Now in this case, I cannot share my username and password, because if I am going to share this, I am not following AWS best practices, and it is very dangerous for me as well, because I have full access of all the resources. I don't want to provide full access to all the resources to my user 1. So in this case, definitely I will create IAM user, which is actually representing human who is actually in front of me, right? So here we are creating logical identity of our physical user. That is what I can say about IAM user. So let's talk about this. First of all, introduction. An individual entity representing human user who need to access AWS resources. User are used to directly interact with AWS services and user resources. So we need to create user account. Now when we are going to create user account, we need to set up user properties like username and password. So what I am doing, let's do this. First of all, going to the user. Right now I don't have any user. Let me click on create user, giving name user 1. Now, do you want to give access to the AWS console? Yes. See, it is optional as well, because you can give access to the user like programmatical access, or you can also give CLI, command line access as well. So it is not compulsory for you to provide AWS console access to each and every user. We are going to talk about programmatical access and CLI as well, but right now I am just going to create normal IAM user. So I am going to say I want to create IAM user, and I am going to allow console access as well. Here I am going to set up password. So Indian 123, like I'm going to set up this password. Now I don't want this user to change password at next login, so I'm just going to remove this. Now next. See, I just created user1. Now user1 can log into my AWS account, but if I'm not going to attach any policy with this user, then this user will be useless, because by default you don't have permission on any of your AWS resources. I know that you guys are already aware about AWS IAM policy, because we have just completed series of IAM policies video. So right now what I'm doing, I'm going to attach policy to this with this particular user, and as I told you that this user having expertise in EC2 management, so I'm going to give full access permission on Amazon EC2, right? Let me click on next and let me click on create user. Now my user is ready. I just want to test this, so I have to use this URL. I'm going to open incognito mode and I'm going to use this URL. Now it will open IAM user sign in page, and I have to enter this username and password so this user can log into my system. Okay, user1, password, and sign in. So right now I am logged in as a user1, and as you know that this user can manage my EC2 environment. So I am going to test this going to the EC2. See, here I am getting unrestricted access. If you look at this, I have all this options are accessible. I am going to the Mumbai region. You can manage any region. Okay. See, here I have one instance running. I have full control. If I want to stop this, I can select this instance. Okay. And I can stop this as well, because when we created this user, I also attached one policy, EC2 full access. So because of this user is actually able to manage my EC2 environment, right? Now, is it only requirement to provide console access to user? No. Let's talk about more. Access key ID and secret access key. See, till now we are just using AWS management console in order to manage our AWS environment. Step by step, when we will go ahead, we will also talk about how we can manage our AWS environment programmatically using AWS Software Development Kit or using AWS CLI. When you are going to access AWS programmatically or using AWS CLI, you cannot use your traditional username and password. You have to set up. Sorry, I know that you want to watch full video, but full video is now not available on YouTube. If you want to watch full video, I want you to go to our website. When you will go to our website, you will find out our course 100 Days YouTube Challenge. I want you to enroll for this course by paying only 499 rupees for lifetime if you are from India. If you are from outside of India, you just need to pay $7 US. Once you will enroll to this course, you are going to get all full videos over there on our portal. You are also going to get certificate after completing the course, and we have just uploaded 120 videos. We are going to upload another 120 videos as well. So there will be total 240 videos. I hope we are going to meet inside the class. Thank you very much.